What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. I told you in the last video I had some catching up to do, so we're going to knock a few things out right off the bat on this video. I'm not going to do any B-movie reviews this round. You'll have to wait till next time for that. First thing I want to talk about, of course, I talked the last video, America's going crazy. These far leftists are just getting ridiculous. The cancel culture, the stupidity of the Democrats, the super racist terrorist organizations of the BLM, black supremacists, and of course Antifa. It's just gotten ridiculous. It all needs to stop. We need to stop letting these mental patients out into the public. Their mental health issues need to be taken care of. They need to be seen by professional doctors. But anyways, moving on with all that junk. I'm not going to talk about all that crap again. I already did. First thing I want to talk about is an old TV show. I recently binge watched it not too long ago. I watched all seasons of it. I think there's like 6 seasons of it. It's a television show called Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, and it starred Kevin Sorbo as Hercules. It came with the NBC did this 2-hour action-packed mini TV series that was introducing a lot of new TV series pilots, some ideas to see if any of them would turn into a TV series. And Hercules is probably the main one that took off the most from that. And it was mainly done in the 90s. Now there was 5 TV movies done, and then they started doing the series. The 5 mini TV movies or whatever, they were okay. They weren't bad. The first one was like something to do with the Amazons or whatever, Hercules and the Amazons. And then, you had Hercules in the Lost City or Empire or something like that. And a few others. They were okay, but they were just getting started out. The TV show had some decent acting in it. The acting was fairly decent. It was okay. Yeah, you had the writers were kind of going with kind of a cheesy, campy type thing of the 80s. But it was a little off. It wasn't quite that good as the 80s cheese and campiness. This is a time when they were really trying to push out that CGI, computer graphics CGI, cheap ass shit for television. So a lot of the the monsters and stuff were pretty. The special effects weren't really all that really good. They were pretty cheesy. But this show relied more on mainly the story and the comedy. That's where relied on. The guy who played Aeolus, he was fairly funny. He wasn't bad. And of course, you have Bruce Campbell popping in every now and then, and everyone pretty much likes Bruce Campbell. Like I said, it was more of an action adventure show that relied mainly on comedy, and it didn't take itself too seriously. And I think that's why a lot of people liked it, even though I in my opinion, like the last season or even before that, the second to last season, it started going off the rails a little bit. That last season, he was all over the place. They had Hercules going all over the place, and they tried to mix in like Irish lore in with it, and it just didn't work right. It didn't mesh well, right, or together very well. And I think that has a lot to do with Alex Kurtzman being one of the writers. It's one of his first shows or whatever he tried to write for. And I can't stand Alex Kurtzman. Everything he touches turns to shit. He's one of the worst writers in television history, and he's still allowed to do shit, and it just blows my mind how much money makes these studios lose, but they still allow him to write for them. It's ridiculous. Anyways, like I said, the series was pretty good until the last couple seasons. The special effects aren't all that great. Like I said, the acting's decent. If you're looking for some cheesy, campy fun or whatever, a show that doesn't take itself too seriously, I definitely recommend Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. It's a decent show. It's not bad. Go ahead and check it out. The next show I want to talk about is called The Last Kingdom. This is a more recent show. This ain't an older show. This is a more recent one. I binge watched it. It has, I think, 4 seasons right now. I think there might be a 5th season coming. It just kind of felt that way. I didn't look up the information for it. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a 5th season. Now, a lot of people try to compare this with the show called Vikings from the History Channel. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is more of an English show, whereas Vikings is a U.S. show. Well, kind of more like a Scandinavian U.S. type of show. But the Viking show is more, how do I put this? More historically accurate than the Last Kingdom. Like they really have characters on Vikings that are based off of actual historic figures. And the history goes quite a bit with, or the story of the show pretty much goes along with and evolves around historical facts. Whereas The Last Kingdom is all fictional. It's completely fictional. Yes, every now and then you see historical names of places, and you hear historical names of people from actual history, but the rest of it is pretty much all fictional. Vikings had a little bit of course, some fiction in it too, but it's more historically accurate. Except for probably the whole thing with I can't even think of her name now. The Shield Maiden woman on there. She was completely invented. There's no historical crap about. Not that particular woman or whatever as a Shield Maiden. Now, on The Last Kingdom, just all of it is basically based off of some fictional books by some author named Cromwell about an Englishman or whatever. The show's good for the most part. The only problem I have with the show, as far as story-wise go, good fiction, is that the author that wrote this Cromwell guy, his main character that is mentioned throughout the whole show, he literally gets shit on by everyone. Every time he turns around, he's getting shit on by, his friends and family and whatever, Literally, just as soon as he starts to get out of a situation, the author basically throws him right back down into the shithole, the mud hole. He can't climb out of it. He's constantly falling right back in as soon as he reaches the top. And it's like that through every season. It's annoying and it's repetitious, and the guy can't get ahead for nothing. He starts from scratch all over again every season, and it's just annoying as hell. One minute he's helping these people, and the next minute they're shitting all over him and pissing on him. Just knocking him down. It's just it gets really old really fast. Otherwise, for the most part, it's fairly a decent show. I like the main character. I just don't like anybody else. They're all dicks. But anyways, if you like that kind of, historical fiction, fantasy kind of thing, Last Kingdom's not a bad show. It's not even close as good as Vikings. Vikings was just amazing. But it's a fairly decent show for an English television show. Definitely check it out if you like that kind of stuff. Next thing I want to talk about is a couple of video games. Normally, I've been trying to play a bunch of older video games from like PS1 or PS2 and then giving you a review on them. But here recently, I just got a PS4 this past year. So, I've been playing a couple PS4 games. One of them I'm really familiar with, which is Spyro the Dragon. I have the Spyro the Dragon trilogy, and I went through it like in a week just because I really like the Spyro series. The graphics are a little more defined or whatever, but pretty much it's basically the same freaking games as the originals. There's not a lot of difference to me. It seemed the same to me, to be honest. I had a couple of glitches in it. Other than that, the game was pretty much the same. If you like Spyro, definitely check out these games because Spyro's a really great game. It's really a lot of fun. The second one I want to talk about is I just got done beating God of War 4. I know it's been out a while, but I just recently played it. I beat it within a week, but I did that with just about every God of War game there is. I've beaten them all really fast, just because I'm such a huge fan of God of War. I've got to keep playing, find out what happens to Kratos. Kratos is the shit. He's probably one of the best damn characters since Cain and Raziel from the Legacy of Kain series that I really, really enjoy. Kratos is fucking awesome. And of course, Christopher Judge, man, I love that dude. Fucking, especially when he played Tilk on SG-1. That dude's fucking awesome, and I love his voice as Kratos. It's the perfect fit. Although they did have him say boy quite a bit in this game. It was a little annoying after a while. But other than that, I have no complaints. The voice acting was great. I think the only complaint I had maybe a couple complaints other than the boy thing. I didn't like the fact that you constantly had to go, you do a certain area and then you find out, oh, I can't get this or I can't get that, but you're not able to unlock them certain chests and crap until way, way later in the game. You get an ability to do it, and it's super annoying. Like when I complete an area, I want to complete the whole area before I move on. I don't like having to go, you know, hours later, have to go way back and redo a whole nother area because I got to find out where I'm missing shit, you know, because I didn't have an ability earlier in the game to unlock that section of the game. That shit I found really annoying. I like to complete the whole area and then move on. The second thing listen, I like Norse mythology, I do, but I'm not really into it as much as I am the Greek mythology. I hope they go back to Greece in the next one, in God of War 5. Please take it back to Greece, or maybe even Egypt. That would be cool, but I don't want to do Norse again, honestly. Once is enough, and I'm just not a big fan of the Norse mythology stuff. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, I don't like it. You know, maybe have Thor change, because at the end, well, no spoil. I'm not going to spoil it, but you know, have Thor chasing him down in the next one or something. You know, to Greece or Egypt or something. You know, that would be cool. You know, him having to deal with the Egyptian gods. You know, something like that. Just get away from the north. I don't like snow and I don't like cold. Period. I didn't care for it all that much. Other than that, the game was awesome. I loved the game. I just not a big fan of Norse mythology. Valkyries, yeah, the Valkyries were hard. Don't get me wrong. You really had to go upgrade that mist armor to help you out defeating them. I didn't even get to use half the equipment or half the fucking weapons and shit. You know, the enchantments and all that crap. I didn't get to use most of them. There were just so many. I didn't even get the final. Was that the L1 circle stuff? You know, that you put on your armor, your power stuff. I didn't get to use the final ones. That sucked. I really wanted the storm ones, but you didn't get to use them. And I didn't like the fact that, you know, I went and defeated even the Queen Valkyrie before I found out that the last brazier you got to light with fire gives you like 15% taking less damage from the Queen. When I already defeated her, that pissed me off. I didn't even know about that. The game gives no hint to that. So that sucked. That really made me angry. But anyways, other than that, the game is fucking excellent. 2 thumbs up. God of War. I can't wait for the next one. But anyways, that's everything I wanted to catch up on for the most part. I'll have some more for you in the next video. Like I said, even some B-movie reviews. Until then, I told you to be told the truth, and you just been told.